Okay, okay, okay. I get it. You guys want me to do a Batman movie. Now, yes, this is official now. If you can't tell by this post right here, there are several people who have been, for years, even before I made this post, wanting me to do a Batman movie. Now, the reason I never did one is because I never knew how to properly do it. Until now. I recently started watching all the Batman movies in order from, Michael Keaton all the way back in 1989 to Robert Pattinson now in 2022. And what I've decided is I'm going to take the best elements of 3 versions of Batman and put it into one movie. So there's going to be elements of, Michael Keaton Batman from the first movie and the second movie, if you want to get really technical. And then there's going to be elements of The Dark Knight, as well as elements from Robert Pattinson, and just kind of mesh it all into one movie, or at least have elements that are inspired from that into one movie. So, I'm going to start off right off the bat. This is technically an origin story for Batman, not for Bruce Wayne. So don't expect to see the Waynes being killed. Don't expect, Joe Chill or whatever to be in there. Don't expect the birth of the Joker or anything like that. That's all going to be off camera. This is going to be mainly focused on Batman building his gadgets, building his Batmobile, becoming a crime fighter, and taking down crime in Gotham. But it's going to have those elements from those movies to help inspire it. Like, one of the biggest inspirations that I will go ahead and say now, because it's not truly a spoiler, because it's not going to happen until a later movie, if this is good enough to even get another movie, is the Joker. My version of the Joker in previous videos has always been an inspired voice by Mark Hamill. Just because I think he's the best version of the Joker. In animated form and anything else. But in live action form, Heath Ledger is the best Joker. So for this particular movie, and probably from here on out, my voice for the Joker is going to be modified, or is going to be more inspired by Heath Ledger's Joker, just because A, I can do Heath Ledger's version of the Joker way better than Mark Hamill, and B, it just, to me, it's the more recognizable choice to go with. Because so many people know how Heath Ledger pulled off the Joker. Not a whole lot of people really, there are people like the Arkham games and stuff like that who know that Mark Hamill played the Joker. But I can't do Mark Hamill's voice. I am able to do Heath Ledger's voice to a point. So don't expect it to be, straight up perfect or anything like that. But it will be recognizable as Heath Ledger's Joker, hopefully. So, and then obviously it's going to pull in some of that crime mystery elements. I will not say who the main villain of this movie is going to be. Just know it is going to be something that you guys have been begging me to do forever. So that might give you a little bit of a hint there. But honestly, it's a big question of who is this villain. So that right there is obviously a big hint for you right there. So who could this villain be? It's something you guys have been asking me to do forever, so this is going to be the main villain of this first movie. And again, it's going to be a year one style story. It's going to be Batman becoming Batman. Real quick, do not expect Commissioner Gordon to play a big part of this movie. This is going to be a solo Batman movie. So Batman is going to have most of the screen time, along with obviously the villain, because, duh. If I can make or find a good version of Alfred, I will have Alfred in this movie for a few scenes. But Batman and this villain are going to have most of the screen time. Um, there will be other side villains, just like standard gang members and stuff like that, just to kind of like help Batman own his skills, and his fighting techniques, and obviously all of his gadgetry and whatnot before he goes up against the main villain. Even though the main villain's going to kind of have partially to do with the gangs. It's definitely going to be inspired by, like, you know, the Dark Knight trilogy and, you know, other versions of Batman. So it's not going to be straight up, there's going to be one villain and then that's who he's going to tackle throughout the entire movie. There's going to be a series of villains that he goes through, but it's all going to be like crime bosses and stuff like that. Because that's what we all like to see in the Batman movie. So that's pretty much what you need to expect from my version of the Batman. It's going to be taking inspiration from my personal favorite versions of Batman, so like Michael Keaton, Christian Bale, Robert Pattinson. It's going to be taking elements from those versions of Batman and kind of hopefully getting inspiration to make a cohesive movie. So, like I already said, Heath Ledger's Joker is going to be a big inspiration for whenever I introduce Joker. If this movie is good enough to get a sequel, Joker will not be the first villain. I'm going to tell you that right now. Joker will not be the first villain of this movie. And then, you know, like the homemade, you know, self-built feel of Robert Pattinson's universe is going to be inspired by, like, how Batman builds his gadgets, how he builds his Batsuit, how he builds the Batmobile. Because those are elements I love to see, and that is why I'm a huge sucker for origin stories. I love when they show Batman putting on his suit for the first time, building his Batmobile, building his suit. And while, yeah, Robert Pattinson skipped over that, there is a prequel book to that movie, and it's called Before the Batman. It's on Google Books or whatever the hell it's called, and it's like a 2-hour listen. It's worth the 2-hour listen. Trust me, you will like. If you like Robert Pattinson as Batman, you will like that book. But in that book, they explain Robert Pattinson building his Batsuit, building his Batmobile, building his gadgets, and kind of learning from his mistakes in that universe. And so, yeah, I missed that out on the movies, but I know what it is in the books, too. So, you know, it's still the same thing. It goes through the death of the Waynes. It goes through him building his Batsuit. It goes through him building the Batmobile. And even then, Matt Reeves has already said this is going to be a very self-made Batman. Like, you can tell he's built all this stuff himself, which I like in a Batman. Because that's one of my biggest pet peeves with Christian Bale as Batman, is he was not building his gadgets, he was not building his Batmobile. He didn't even make his Batsuit. He got all of that from Wayne Enterprises and Morgan Freeman. I love Morgan Freeman as an actor, and I like him as Lucius Fox, but I like it better when Batman builds his own shit. Not, I'm going to have Lucius Fox do it. And then boom, you have the tumbler, the Batsuit, and pretty much all of his gadgets. So, that's my biggest pet peeve with Christian Bale. So don't expect those particular elements to appear in this movie, because I did not like that version, or those elements in that film, or that trilogy. So, Batman will build his own stuff, he will have his own gadgets, and he will make his own Batsuit. Expect at least two different versions of the Batsuit. One is going to be a prototype suit, the other one's going to be the one he ends up for the rest of the film. Expect at least two different versions of the Batmobile too. One of which is obviously going to be the prototype Batmobile. The second one is going to be the Batmobile that he spends throughout the rest of the movie. So expect elements of stuff like that. Like, he's constantly trying to make himself better. So, just like the comic books, just like the Dark Knight trilogy, just like Robert Pattinson's Batman by the end of it, expect elements of stuff like that. So, and obviously there will be a pinches of, Michael Keaton and stuff thrown in there. Mostly on the Joker's behalf. Because my big plan for the Joker is to take Jack Nicholson's Joker and Heath Ledger's Joker, put them together and make the perfect Joker. Well, perfect in my mind. So, that's kind of where I'm headed with that. Or hopefully we'll be heading with that. There will be micro teases to other characters in there, like Harvey Dent, Bane, and Mr. Freeze, and a couple of other people there. But they won't be their actual villains just yet. All of which is just going to be world building and setting up stuff. So, anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys are excited for my Batman movie, unfortunately you are going to have to wait until after my Spider-Man movie's done. Because I already said that I was going to do my Spider-Man movie first. So, that will hopefully be coming out in either February or March. I wanted to do it in January, but I don't have time to do it in January. Hopefully I will be able to do something like that in February, if not definitely March. So, hopefully you guys enjoyed. That will also be an origin story, because again, I'm a sucker for origin stories. It doesn't matter what the superhero is, I love origin stories. Unless it's a hero I don't care about. Morbius. But other than that, that's pretty much it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys all next time on Ultimate Deadpool. Peace out. You guys are awesome. I'll catch you guys all later. Bye.